Hello, everyone. I'm Joy Harris with Global Heart Healing, and it is just absolutely my honor today to introduce you all to the lovely Katrina Booze, who has such a magnificent combination of skills and persona and back history that I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself. But let me just say, this is such an honor. I'm so delighted to have you here, Katrina. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's so good to be here. Yeah, I'm just happy that I could be here with you and that we've met and we get to do this fun thing together. So, yeah, hello to everybody.
Yeah, me too. So we have known each other for some time. Katrina is also one of the collaborators in Global Heart Healing, and you'll be seeing and hearing more of her in the new year.
Mhm.
Um, And so let's just jump right in and start off with, can you just tell us a little bit about your healing journey and what first led you on the path of both your career and your healing work?
Yeah. So I'm a nurse. That's what I am by profession. My mom was a nurse, so I watched her as a teenager, and yeah, I decided, I mean, it's a helping profession, and she helped a lot of people, and so I watched her help people in her professional career, and I decided to become a nurse. So that was like a very natural thing for me. I became an aide first and helped people at bedside and then furthered my career as a nurse. And then, yeah, during COVID, my best friend was like, "Hey, let's go back to school. Let's go back and be psychiatric nurse practitioners together." And so I was like, "Yeah, that like really resonated with me." I was like, "Let's do that together." So I just graduated with that. So now I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, which is great, and I'm looking for a job. I'm working on that. And then, yeah, also during COVID, which is just kind of coincidental, I kind of had hit sort of a crisis point in my personal life. And so I started to really become aware right before COVID, right? Became more aware of the fact that I was not maybe living to my full potential, I guess would be the best way to put it. And I didn't really know what that meant or how to go about that. So on June 2nd, 2019 was the day that I decided to sit down and really face kind of what I had been feeling like I was running away from and really look at what this was, what's going on. And I spent about three and a half hours somewhere in that time frame just kind of praying and meditating that day. And I basically kind of told the universe, told God, supreme being, that I'm ready to step into who I'm supposed to be. What is my purpose here? What am I supposed to be doing here? I'm not fulfilling it. So yeah, and that day everything shifted. It was within a week. I met my first energy healer, Jeffrey Allen, and then shortly after that, Dr. Bradley Nielsen and Joy Harris came into my life. It was like the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And so here I am. Now I'm helping the world in a really kind of a both two ways. I help them in my professional career as a nurse, and then I also perform energy healing. And anyone who ever comes into contact with me, whether it's the grocery clerk or my patient, gets a little healing um, in a way that they can't really put their finger on it. Like they just tell me they feel better after talking to me. And it's by far the most rewarding thing I could do. And I'm really, really wanting to help the world at large on a bigger and bigger scale as I kind of step into my unique gift set, my unique vibration more and more. I would like to help more people, just help them come into their own journey. And I'm doing that. It's growing for me. So yeah.
So that just brings to me the thought and to me the image of you're spreading your light. And is as we spread our light, we invite everyone to find their light. And so we just all shine and grow and heal and shine more within to shine more without. And it just feels so good. And yeah, when we first started talking and you told me you were emotion code certified, I was like, oh, this is so perfect. I really kind of felt that. And we've just been honest. And then we actually moved both of us together into hypnotherapy as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we'll talk about more of those things will kind of come up, I think, as we go. But you guys just know it's out there and it's in you. And that's what we're here just to we want these conversations to become far more normal. It's safe. It's right. And we're just here to shed a little light. So thank you so much for being here and shining your light, Katrina.
Yeah.
So then, what does heart healing mean to you personally?
Yeah, so I would say heart healing to me feels like, well, with the motion code, I learned how to remove trapped energies from my heart, which was by far one of the most profound things I've ever done. Removing all that old trapped baggage, it's no longer in present time, really kind of opened up my heart space for a clear communication between me and my heart. My heart's always led me with all that I ever done in my life. If my heart wasn't online, then we were not doing it.
Exactly.
So but what it means, been an evolving thing for me, but what it means was first I healed my heart, or I'm healing my heart. I'm on the journey of continuing to heal my heart. And then I became acutely aware of kind of the global heart, I really became aware of, I'd always felt the heart of the world at large, and kind of hid from that in the past. I was scared from it because it was heavy. There's a lot of different energies on this planet. There's a lot of people fighting. So, especially during COVID, there was a lot of fear. And what I learned is I don't have to be scared. I don't have to be scared. And not only do I not have to be scared, I get to be a part of healing the planet and healing everyone on the planet by just working with me first and then just shining out from the inside out. And that's been by far really one of the most important things I've learned about healing, heart healing, is everybody has a heart. Everybody feels their own heart, whether they're able to tune in or not, or if it's uncomfortable or not. And I want to, help guide people more to their own heart. Their heart is supposed to be kind of the second brain, right? And I want to help people lean into their own heart and be able to trust themselves that the next step for them is the right one, and to really work
Yes.
on, shedding that fear and stepping into the light.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it means to me.
Beautiful. I 100% agree. Like for me, when I first found emotion code, body code, and now belief code, but when I first found that and I started healing my own heart wall, um, which if you're not aware of that, it's just that your heart actually starts beating before by the time you have even 4 cells, like when you're in conception. Um, and so our heart may not be the second brain, it might be the first brain. Um, very, very much. And the thing is, our heart is such a vital part of us, and it has to be protected. So our subconscious mind will take any energies that are around and move them to protect your heart if your heart became in danger, which has happened to most everybody at some point in their life where their heart was in danger. And so then that energy barrier or protective armor, as it is there, and you need to be able to find a way, which is by removing the trapped energies that were protecting it, now that there's no longer a need, you need to be able to release that. So it's kind of like your heart gets to come out of this bomb shelter. And honestly, when mine came out of the bomb shelter, it was about 3 years before the lockdowns all hit.
Mm.
But as I started growing more and more and noticing what was happening, and I was starting to see things in the world, then it was like my heart just was like, let's go. Let's go shine here. Let's go here. Let's go. We got to go help other people know that they can do this. And that's how global heart healing came to be. It was just
Mhm.
my heart's mission was even stronger and much more profound, much less fear. It was no longer fear based. And it
Mhm.
was so expansive. I was just like, wow, me? And my heart was like, come on, let's go. I was like, okay, I'll catch up. And that's really, and it's just, it has, all of that has led to these magical connections. And that's
Mm.
how energy works. Once you really start to understand energy, it is working on our behalf all the time, even through the uncomfortable moments.
Mhm.
Those are moments where we are led to growth. And so, yeah. Okay. I'm so excited. I've got to stop talking. And we'll go to the next question of bringing it back to you, Katrina. What are some of the key practices and rituals that you use in your healing work? These will just give people some insights into the methods and tools that you love the most.
Yeah. I would say one of the things I've learned the most about this type of tuning in, this energy work, energy in general, is that you can't take like a shower so good one day that it's good forever, right? So energy work is the same. You can't just think that you can do all things in one day and just not have to do it anymore. This is a daily walk for me. This is a consistent passion that I show up for every day, and I do that through um, many different ways. I've just come into alignment on all levels. So physically, I take very good care of my body. I get enough rest. I drink a lot of water. I eat mostly organic diet as I can. I listen to what my body wants that day. And then on a spiritual level, I meditate on a regular basis. I love to talk to people about spirituality, about how to grow, how to tune into their own intuition. These are things I do on the regular basis. I invite those conversations. And then on an emotional level, I've really leaned into letting go of any kind of self condemnation or any kind of fear or anger, just really learning how to accept my emotions and how they show up for me. And it's been a really lovely transition because it's in the mind. It sort of goes like, I feel so irritable right now, and that's okay. And we're going to find out the cause of that irritability, and we're going to address that irritability. And there's just a lot more grace and kindness for myself and for others as well. And so I would say meditation has been kind of a key for me, that and working with the emotion code, body code on the regular, just tapping into that subconscious space is my passion. I like to talk to everyone, but I also really love to talk to the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, it's just the bigger mind, and it just knows everything you need right now at any given time. There's no confusion in the
Yes,
subconscious mind, right? Like none. Like it knows
exactly.
exactly what you need at any time. So I would say that I practice on the regular of doing energy work on myself and talking to my subconscious mind. And yeah, there's just a lot more alignment and a lot more quietness in my mind as far as my thoughts go. Um, but yeah, those are kind of using. I'm um, I'm always reading a book, listening to a podcast, doing something that, this is my life. I love this. This is my passion. How do I help people a little more? Ooh, I need to watch that a little bit closer. I'm going to meditate on that and see where that came from, because I don't know where that emotion showed up. yeah. And it's just gotten better and better and richer and richer. And I love waking up every day. I wake up and I say, I'm awake. I'm awake. And I get up out of bed. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm awake. It's a new day. So,
Absolutely. You know,
yeah.
I love some of the things. I want to just touch on it for a minute because so many people are trapped in emotions right now and kind of fighting them. And I want to explain that on the emotion code, we do release the energies of these trapped emotions. However, one of the things that people can do just right now is instead of fighting the emotions and trying to pretend that they're not there and stuffing them away, that's actually how they get stuck and trapped.
Mhm.
And then that energy is literally in your body, creating some sort of imbalance in you, which does lead to disease and disorder. So if you can, just notice the emotion. Don't be unhappy with it. Don't be mad at it. Don't try to just notice it, allow it, experience it, get the lesson that's there. And
Mhm.
because you will have done that, it will have been processed and it will leave you. They are there for us. Everything in life is not happening to us, it's happening for us. So we can, that's just a little thing that right now, you, where you are, wherever you're listening to this, you can do that
Mhm.
exactly where you are with no one else. Just you and your heart. Listen to it, pay attention to it, get the lesson, and then it will go. It will release and it will no longer have a hold on you.
Mhm.
And you can also, if you want, release it with pure intention. We're all electromagnetic beings. So there you go. Okay. Sorry. Just that just reminded me so much of something. And that's what I want this to be, is this conversation that gives people tools they can use right now. And that was so perfect. Thank you. So,
Mhm.
can you maybe then share a transformative healing experience that deeply moved you, either as you being a healer or as you personally as a participant?
Yeah. I would say so. Two that come to mind. I don't just do this work on myself. I do it on my children, and I have five of them. And for
Hard to
my
believe. Sorry. I'm going to tell you. Anyone looking at yours is going to say, "What?" And you
yes,
guys, she's so balanced and it's such ease and grace and flow every time I talk to her when their family's around. I just need people to know that. It's such a light space. And I can tell you, when I was your age and my children were small, um, of course, we had a lot of chaos going on in our businesses, both of us, and I didn't have energy around. So I can tell you that, I mean, we had a beautiful, fun life. We did. But I had more emotions trapped, I am sure, because I was too busy trying to deal with all of the disasters.
yeah, I feel so fortunate to be able to give this gift to my kids. I mean, when they're little and they know that when I'm sick, so my son, this just happened this last winter, he was so sick. He was so sick. I'm like, buddy, if you're like not better by the morning, we're going to have to go to the doctor, and it's okay. We can go to the doctor. Like, I love the doctor. We need all things. And he's like, okay, mom, but can you just do some energy or something on me and help me feel better? So I used the body code on him, and he had a large swollen lymph node. Like, I mean, concerning to me. And I'm like, we're gonna have to. I knew it was not okay. His throat was really hurting and really swollen, and this large, swollen lymph node in his neck, and I could feel it. You could see it. He was sick. Like, we're gonna have to go to the doctor. So, which is no problem. So I decided, I mean, what the heck? We'll just try and see what happens if we just use a little body code on him and see how this goes. And I started releasing trapped emotions out of that lymph node. We can remove viruses, all kinds of things came out of that. Inherited stuff came out of that lymph node. All kinds of stuff came out of that lymph node. And that night he broke his fever. He woke up the next morning and he's like, I'm better. I would say the lymph node went down by probably, I would say like 75%. And we didn't have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And this was like a physical thing, right? Like it was like, I cannot believe this stuff works. Like this stuff really works. Like
Yeah.
I was just an experiment. Like I was like, well, I mean, what the heck? It's not going to hurt anything where it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I mean, I'm tired. He's tired. We're not sleeping. And he was, I'd given him some medicine to try to help him, but I was like, I don't have anything else. It's in the middle of the night. Let's experiment and see what this can do. And within, probably half an hour of starting to work on him, he went right to sleep, slept the rest of that night, and broke that fever in that time frame. And I was like, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Like that's like a physical thing, right? That happened. On the emotional side, a I had a client I was working on, and she got referred to me by a friend. So this was word of mouth. And I'm not done with her. We're in the middle of her process of her journey. But she called me and she's like, Katrina, something's just like not, it's just not right. Like my heart is tight. It's just something's just not right. And I was like, well, let's just check on your heart wall, Let's just check on your heart wall. And she has a heart wall. And so I was like, well, let's just do a little emotional work on that heart wall. And she's like, okay, so she's not done. She's in the middle, but just one session, she writes me and she's like, oh my goodness, like all of the stuff is moving. I don't know how this works. I don't get it. But my whole life is changing. It's strange. It's going well. And all the things that you said came out, I'm now processing. So she had a little bit of some anxiety and some things that she was processing, but she's like, I can't believe how much this has helped me. And it's only one session, And she's like, I am lighter and I feel better and I'm clearer and I'm excited and I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that the thing that I was looking for, you're releasing, And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm here to do. And she was thanking me profusely. Thank you so much. Like you're my guide, you're my coach. And I was like, no, thank you, because you showed up and that's 90%.
Exactly.
You showed up and you said, can you help me? And that's where all of it comes in. All you got to do is ask, So yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that's my experience too, is just so many unbelievable things. I would go so far as to say I have definitely been able to be in the middle of miracles for
Hmm.
for many years now. Um, but what is beautiful about that is it's not out of reach for anyone, because your subconscious mind, which is inside of you, does know all of these things and it knows what needs to be done. So we just simply have to access that. And you can find different ways to do that. Emotion code, body code, belief code, beautiful way. Hypnotherapy, beautiful way. Other sorts of energy work, intuitive work. I'm going to tell you guys, seriously, I truly believe there are so many different ways to heal that you will find the right one for you. The first step is you having the interest, you initiating with pure intention that you would like to find the right way for you to heal. And your heart will start attracting that and bringing you to exactly where you're supposed to be. Body Code has 1,070 mind maps. There's really nothing we can't find because your subconscious mind knows what's there and needs to be done. So beautiful. So much fun. Thank you, Katrina. Uh, so I'm not going to go into my stories because we've got more from you. So are there any ways that you feel like you integrate different cultural or spiritual traditions into your healing work?
Yeah, I feel like I use a combination and I'm cultivating my toolbox, I lovingly call. And it's growing all the time, which is really, really going to be unique, I think, for me as far as what I reach for when I reach for it. And I would say that I've been using the hypnotherapy is phenomenal. There's neuro linguistic programming in that hypnotherapy where we ask, it's amazing if you can just find the right question to ask at the right time. It really evokes an unbelievable cascade in someone. And my most favorite moments in life is when someone says, huh, I didn't think about it from that perspective. Right? To me, that's a mini miracle because you just broadened someone's perspective. They're now looking at something maybe they've been dealing with for a while from a different angle. And that's a mini miracle to me. I mean, I think that we need each other for that. And I would say that I use the body code, the emotion code. I also use hypnotherapy. I use other modalities of healing, which involve our energy centers, our chakras. I love questions for the mind because the mind is a very powerful tool. And by asking and showing up in the right moment at the right time, you can really, it can really change a lot of things. And being present, always being present and being aware of when I'm not present has been really, really, really helpful for me. I tell people that if they are interested, if they're having a problem, as soon as they recognize that they have a problem, the solution is waiting right there. It's just a matter of asking, as long as you ask, the right thing will come in. And as you were saying, it can be from many different places. I have had many teachers, many healers in my life. For my body, my physical body, for my energy body, my spiritual body, my mental body, lots of different kinds. So I use a unique blend, and I'm honing in on exactly what feels the right in each moment. So I have this toolbox and I kind of pull out with whatever person I'm talking to in that moment
Mm-hmm.
to see what works best for them. Some people are very logically based, and so they need more analytical questions to do that exploring, more of like a cognitive reframe. And other people are very feelings based and they don't know what's going on. And we tune into where that's at in the body and kind of have a little conversation with it. So yeah, I would say I have a whole toolbox now that's available to me, especially through the subconscious mind that really opened up
Yeah.
a lot of options. Yeah. I don't know
Super.
if that
And one of
answered,
the things I'm sorry, what?
did that answer the question?
Absolutely. And it actually also brought up a point that I think people would really value hearing. You don't have to dig through the muck. You really don't. You do need to identify what the issue is that you want to work on. But again, your subconscious mind knows what's wrong and it knows how to heal it. But it does have to be directed to heal it. It can't direct itself. It needs to know that you want that. So you have to be the intender bringing it, but you don't have to do a whole lot of just painful pulling out and reliving and re-experiencing the trauma. You don't have to do that.
No.
You don't have to do that at all. And to me, that's the most beautiful part of energy work, is because it just works and it just feels different after than before.
Yes.
And it's non-invasive. It's at your fingertips. It's really within you. But until you know exactly how to do it, reach out and find someone that can help you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving from the individual and the experiences, then moving to what role would you say does community play in the healing process?
Yeah. My community, I live in a little tiny rural town. There's 11,000 people in my town. It's tiny. And I would say that my community is probably most important part for me. And the way that I play in that community is when it seems very simple and it's very light for me. When I go to the grocery store, I smile at people and I have a very inviting energy about me. And I make the intention to be full when I go to the grocery store. So anybody who comes into contact with me gets a little piece of that. And I hand out, when people talk to me and they're like, it was really good to talk to you. I am inviting them. I can talk to you more if you'd like to. Here's my phone number. Here's my name. I live here locally. And I'm actually looking for a job in my town too as a professional, because I really have a real heart for these people. I work at my local hospital. It's tiny. It's like 25 beds. It's so small.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And we have a very large kind of aging population here. And I just love them. I love them. When people come towards the end of their lives, they're a lot more receptive and a lot more open sometimes to other things. And they tell me things that they say they never told anyone else, which is really healing for them. Maybe they had an experience where they saw their mom walk in their room in the hospital room. Their mom's been dead for years, or maybe they had some anger and they didn't even know what it was about, but now they feel better when I talk to them. And I would say my community, I feel like it seems small, but that affects everyone attached to that person too. So their children, their grand, like, everyone attached to them gets affected by the conversation we just had. And they're probably my first, like, the people that are closest to me is these 11,000 people that I get to live in this tiny little town with. And
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to doing community events like with the local
Ah, beautiful, beautiful.
people.
Well, that really just brings the interconnectedness of our individual healing to the collective healing, because every time any of us shift, we elevate humanity on the planet Earth, and we elevate Earth. We are all connected. And then we also bring that into our community online, where that's
Mhm.
how we work and Global Heart Healing works, and it's how we met. So just, I want each person out there to know you're very important. You're
Mhm.
part of this whole world that is in the middle of a transition, epic
Mhm.
for humanity. And
Mhm.
your healing not only benefits you, it brings much more light to the earth, and it brings more light to your world, to the people around you, and to all of us in the global connection of all that is. Right?
Yes.
So, what advice would you give someone who feels disconnected from their heart, or from maybe from love in their life? What would you give them some advice?
Yeah, I talk to people probably about that on a daily basis, I would say, because I mean, I see people in crisis, right? Like, in my professional role, it puts me in a very fantastic place to have kind of deeper conversations. And I had a conversation with a lady the other day, and her husband was sick, and she's like, I just want him to get better, and I want him just to get up and get better. And we had like probably a 45-minute conversation about how it wasn't really about him getting better. It was about the fact that she felt disconnected from her heart, right? And because she felt disconnected from her heart, it was creating panic and anxiety and worry around her husband's illness. And so we talked about, how do we really, what is self-care? What is it? We have a lot of people who are talking about self-care on social media and on the internet, but like, what is self-care really? And it's more about self-love, because when you're filling your own cup up, then you can fill everybody else's. And we talked about how she has been caring for her husband nonstop, and she hasn't had a break, and she's tired. And it's not tired you can just go to bed and sleep, right? It's deeper than that. It's a real fatigue, and it's a fatigue that she's not bringing joy in her life every day for herself. And we talked about that when she talked about how, I'd like to get my nails done, and I'd like to get my hair done, and I'd like to talk with my friends. I just want to go out with my friends. And I sat there in that room with her, and I was like, I just want to be here. I'm a nurse, right? This is the role I'm giving this in. But I was like, I want to be someone who gives you permission to listen to what you need in the every moment. And I'm going to write you a little invisible prescription pad to love yourself, so that you can love everyone in your world, love your children better, show up for your husband better, and I'm going to give you that prescription pad. And it was phenomenal to watch the overall look on this lady's face, but also her energetic field completely shifted from that permission. And she's like, I was like, so what's your goal? Like, what are you going to take from this? You know? And she's like, well, I'm going to call my girlfriend and I'm going to go out to lunch with her on Thursday and I'm going to set an appointment to get my nails done. And I was like, great. And she's like, and I feel a lot better about that, you know? And I was like, great. You know, I don't think it sounds like it's hard, but it's actually not that hard. Just take a nap, you know, take a nap, have a drink of water. Each case I talk to is different as far as what they need. Sometimes all they need is for someone just to listen, really deeply listen. Like I really heard this lady, she had been labeled by the staff as being kind of needy and they were kind of avoiding her. She was heavy, you know, she was kind of drawing on everyone. And really, she was doing that because she wasn't feeding herself, you know? She wasn't feeding her. And so I told her, I was like, your husband's here. He's with me. He's safe. He's in the hospital. Go feed yourself. Don't go home stewing about what's going on here. Go home and feed yourself. And yeah, she did not look like the same person when I saw her the next day. You know, she didn't look like the same person. She had thought about what I said, you know, and tuned in. And yeah, each person I talk to is a little bit different, but it's really about tuning into you in that moment and making a decision. How can I feed myself? And if you have lots of kids like me, that can be really it can be super fun because sometimes I have to tell my children, you know, just give mom like 1 minute and then I'll be able to answer your question. And it's just in that moment. But they understand that and they're like, oh, okay, mom needs a moment. And I feel like that's a really great example to my kids too, right? They get to see me
Mhm.
take care of me and they get to see me take care of them and what balance looks like. And it's really healthy actually for them to learn how to wait for 60 seconds while I take a moment to breathe.
Exactly.
Things. So yeah, yeah.
Well, I think the biggest thing there was that not only you gave her your love and your attention, but you gave her permission
Mhm.
that she wasn't able to see that she needed to give herself.
Mhm.
And I think that that's the case in so many instances. We're all so bombarded with everything that's happening outside of us or everything that's happening in our personal world that we have to just do, 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 do. And what we forget is that if we're not okay, we can't do, 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 do any of that well. We can do, 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 do it all. Well,
Mhm.
we are depleting more and more. And then all of a sudden there's a kablooey. And so not only should each of us give ourselves permission to do self-love, but we should live listening to our heart, going within, saying, I know you're in there and I know you're powering this whole life I have. I am grateful for you. And what do you think I need to do for me?
Mhm.
It's simple. It's simple. And then from there, you do need to do that though. You have to take the time to do what you get. Then when you do it, you're just like, I can do this and I can do that. And it's just this, it's an overflow, you know? Beautiful. This is I'm having so much fun. We actually do have one more question if you want to answer it, because I think it's lovely. And it's a great, well, kind of two. The next one after this one is how people can get in touch with you, how people can connect with you. So be thinking of that. And we will also put it in the logistics when this goes out. So how has your own personal healing evolved over the years? So think of before and then during and then now. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that it's picked up pace. So as I've tuned in and as I've worked with these different healing modalities, I used to like say rewind 10 years ago. I felt like I hit a brick wall every day. I used to wake up and just be like, why is it taking so long? Like I just felt like I was healing, but it was just at a snail pace. And after, 2019, it's just picked up speed. And as I've picked up speed, there's been this deep knowingness and this really beautiful deep peace that has rolled in that I know that we're going to be okay. Humanity is going to be okay.
Yes.
We're going to a bright place. We're not going to a dark place. It doesn't matter who gets elected. It doesn't matter what is going on in the government. Like, we are humans and we all have a light inside of us, and we together are moving forward. And I'm one of those people that's standing in the gap. I'm standing in the gap between whether you know it or you don't know it. I'm one of those people who is on the forefront of humanity evolving into the most beautiful, the most aligned, and the most happy, peaceful species. And I know it sounds cliche to be like, well, we all just want love and peace and not war. Um, but I sense that in my heart that we are moving towards healing and peace in our heart. And the way we get there is different. And it's kind of sometimes a little messy and ugly. But I would say the biggest evolving piece for me personally has been that I know we're going in the right direction, and that peace has come in, not just like for me, like my personal life. I have a deep inner peace I've never had before in my life. It's so deep and so profound and so juicy and yummy for me. I just love to share it at any time that I get. And then to know that that's there for all humans. All humans are actually longing for love.
Yeah.
They're longing for connection. They're longing for peace, and not like a paradise life. Like, I just want to have all my bills paid and my physical needs met. It's deeper than that. And I'm the one of those people in my community, in my home, that's standing there like, yeah, I can be your guide if you'd like, even if it's a little conversation at my local Kroger. you know, they can taste that in my spirit, that I'm a happy person, even when things aren't happy. It's really profound, and it's picking up speed. I have no idea where I'm going. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be great. And I hope to reach more people. That's probably the thing that's on my heart the most, is how do I serve other people in a way that they get to see how they can tune in themselves and get their own answers, because that's available for everyone.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. I'm in such harmony and agreement with you. I feel that I think in most cases, everyone can somewhere along the way notice that there's shifting happening and has been happening. And we're in this beautiful trajectory. We're also in this epic transition that can feel very disruptive.
Mhm.
But the truth is, we are reaching true human potential. And the more we go into our heart, that is the power of humanity. Love is the power of humanity, and heart consciousness is the power of humanity on earth, connecting all of us and rewriting in every sector across the dynamics of our world those pieces that need to be rewritten. We are in this. We're in the transition. We're doing it. And so you can feel it, and that's exactly where and how and why Global Heart Healing is here, is to help facilitate that. And thank you so much for being along with us in this mission to unlock heart consciousness and spread a contagion of healing love and light all around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been such a fun conversation. So now I know there's just going to be so many people who, when they get to hear this, want to know how to get in touch with you. So can you share how and
Yeah.
where and when is the easiest?
Yeah. So you can find me on all the classic social media platforms. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm KBooze58 on Instagram. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on the professional websites and the personal ones. And yeah, and I also have a website that I've created on a platform called 11. So we can post that down below. But
Perfect.
yeah, I'm not hard to find. I have a very unique last name, so it's not.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Katrina, What an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of the light and wisdom and truly just heart. Thank you for sharing your heart and your love with us. And you'll have to come back again.
Yay! Please.
So until next time,
Yay.
thank you.
Thank you so much.